First of all, we'll see how to insert a query, how to use an insert query and insert a particular record into our table through PHP. How we'll be using MySQL functions that are MySQL library that is provided in PHP, and how we will use that library to create a new or insert a new row in our table in a database. Then we will explain that how to select data. If we have saved a row in our database, how we will be selecting that particular row. First of all, I will let you know how to select all the records. Then I will let you know how we can select records conditionally using where clause. Then I will teach you that how you can edit a particular record that you have saved into your database. Then we will go with how to delete a record using conditions on ID or any other field, how we can delete a particular record or number of records from a database. So this is our objective slide where all the points that we are going to discuss today are given. So here it is, data manipulation, insert query. First of all, we will go with insert query. How we insert data in our database. How we insert new queries in the database. Here's the process. Two ways we can go ahead with. Yesterday we have already discussed the stuff that either we can go with command prompt or using PHP script. So command prompt I have already shown you yesterday that using the command prompt we can go ahead with so here it is MySQL bin and then MySQL. So this is our command prompt. So either we can use this command prompt or we can use our PHP that I've shown you already, that using PHP you can connect to your database or you can create queries, and you can again after running your query you can close the MySQL database connection. So how all these can be done with PHP, today I'm going to discuss that. Means how to insert a record into database, we are going to work on that. So here is the syntax and some points related to insert query. Before insertion, we need to follow the steps. Connection should be established. That is, again, I have told you yesterday that we have to establish a connection with database, MySQL database, before doing any kind of operation on the database. Because if there is no connection, we don't have any medium to access the database and manipulate data or doing any kind of job with database. So first of all, we are going to create a connection. Once the connection is created, normally if you are having MySQL installation on your local server, then definitely you will be having administrator rights. But if you are working on a shared server, then for example in your organization or you are doing some kind of other work on some shared server, so you should have administrator rights. If you don't have rights, you have to ask your administrator to provide you all the rights that are required by you. Either those are insert rights, either those are update rights or delete rights, what kind of rights you should have in order to do any kind of updation or insertion into database. Next is MySQL query is to be executed specifying what data to be inserted in table. In this point, it is made clear that in order to insert a particular row into database, we have to define first of all the columns in which we want to have the values, and then sequentially as per the column names we will be having the values for each column. So this is basically the syntax of inserting a particular row into a table in a database. So insert into, then there would be table name, then in first braces we will be giving columns in which we want to insert the values. It is not mandatory that every time we insert value in each and every column. Some columns might be optional for us. For example, I have shown you yesterday. Here you can see not null, where not null is checked simply means that these fields are mandatory. Without passing the values for these fields, no row will be inserted into database. So where not null is checked simply means that these fields are mandatory. Rest of the fields are optional. You can leave them blank. If you don't pass anything, they will be blank. So for enumerated data type, what we can do, if we don't pass any group, we can give a default value for a group. We can have A saved even if there is no value passed from the front end by the user. So this is the syntax of inserting row into database. So here you can see if our column 1 is string data type, we should use value 1. If now we have to take care of that the columns in our database are either strings or integers. Strings simply means either they are var, chars or text, and integer simply means if they have data type int or they can be float, means it basically depends upon value. If it is a numeric value, then we can simply pass the value itself, but if it is a string going to be saved, then we have to pass that string value in quotes. I think that is understood. For each and every string we use in PHP, we put quotes around it, either single quotes or double quotes. I think this is understood. So we don't have to, means we have to take care of it, but this is not a new thing, new concept. I have already explained that using a string should be enclosed into quotes. So this is the syntax of insert query. So till now, here you can see we have run an insert query to insert some values into database. So let's insert a query in database using this command prompt. Then I will let you know how to use insert query into PHP. For example, this is our table. I'm having these fields: student ID, student name, student class, class group, and contact number. So I'm going to insert into students. Then I'm going to give the columns where I want to insert the value. I will do student underscore name. See here, if you people remember, yesterday we have discussed that ID field I have given auto increment. If you can see the structure here, ID field is auto increment. So if I don't give any value for this ID field, I don't insert, while inserting I don't give any value for ID field, it will be automatically taken 1 plus of the previous maximum value. Here the maximum ID value is 5, so 6 will automatically be taken for ID. So we don't have to insert any value into ID field. It will be auto incremented by 1 by default. Then we have student name, student class, class group, and then contact number. Now I will do values, then I will take values like this. Means this is simply just to make readability. You can write this query on single line as well. So here I will take student name like Amit, classes we can have like 5th class, then we can have class group as B, and contact number we can take, because here you can see this student name is a string, student class is a string, class group is a string, contact number is integer. So we can take it without quotes. Even we can take it into quotes, but it will work if we go ahead with without quotes as well. So this way we can have this like this. So when I will run this query, so okay, I think I have to increase the range of the column. I can make it big int. So let's take into quotes itself. I will take another student name like Sumit. Class is 6th. Group is A. And number can be anything. So here you can see the table data. We got it inserted. 7 Sumit, and this is the value. These are the values: Sumit, 6th, A, and this. So this is the insert query. How we can insert data into database using insert query. So this is insert query using command line. This again is a command line for MySQL database, because we are writing that a query into the tool itself in the area provided to write the queries. So this is the way to write queries using command line or direct server tool. Even we can write the query here as well. This is the command line, and this is a tool to write the MySQL query. So both mean same and different thing. So I would prefer to use this tool. You can use MySQL Bench. There is a tool called MySQL Bench that is open source, and you can get it downloaded, and you can write down your queries, because this tool basically increases the readability. So I'm using this tool to make you people understand more clearly about the database stuff. Okay, so this is the insert query. First of all, we have to give the keyword insert into, then I will give that table name, then I will take the columns, and then I will use the values keyword, and then the value for each column. So when I run this query, it will insert a new row. Here in this case, ID would be 7. See, ID is being auto incremented. Last ID was 5, then inserted Amit, ID became 6, then ID became 7. So it is auto increment. It will increment itself. We don't have to provide it its value while inserting a new row. Line tool, command line window. Then if we press enter, we will be simply move to the next line with this arrow until we give a semicolon. So giving a semicolon and then pressing enter simply will execute. Simply it means that the server will take that this query is complete, and now the user wants to run it. So after pressing entering the semicolon, if we press enter, the query will be executed. Before that, before having a semicolon, if we press enter, it will take to the next row with this arrow. So this arrow is not the part of the query. It simply lets us know that now it is the continuation of previous query and you are on the next line. So this basically tells us that thing that I have explained. So here is insert query. I have told you that how we can use the insert query using the command line. Now here the method is shown how we can use the insert into command into our PHP MyQuery function. How we can insert a row into database using the PHP stuff. So here are the steps, basic steps that I've already explained. Implement MySQL connection, then input form to get the values from user, then insert the script. So today I will show you how we are going to create this. So for that I'm going to build a simple form first. That will give you more better idea. So here I'm going to take a form. Then I'm going to take action. So I think you people might be aware of that what action is. Action would be the script where I will be going after submitting this page. So I will take it index.php. Then would be giving method. So this would be submission method. I'm taking it post. So here let's take input columns, input HTML elements for the columns that we are having in the database. Like first we will be taking student name, input, type is equal to text, name is equal to student name, then I will be taking a break tag, BR tag, then I will be taking student class, so for student class I will be taking a select box, name is equal to student class, so I will be taking option, value equal to A. Okay, it is for class, so I will be taking first. Here I will be writing first, then we will be having same way second, third, fourth, then fifth, then sixth. So it will be second, third, fourth, fifth, then sixth. So if I take it here, welcome.php, so here is my student name, then student class. You can see the drop down. Here I'm going to select the class from this drop down. Then I will be having class group. Again I will be taking class group as drop down, because for student class I don't want user to enter the value. It should come from a drop down. User should have to select a value. Similar way as class group, we are some defined class groups like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't want user to enter that value. Means I don't want user independent to enter any value for these fields. I want that user should select at least means the value that from the group of values that I want to have. So I'm taking select for them. I'll be taking here class group. So for class group, if you people remember, yesterday we have taken, it is an enumerated field and its values are either A, B or C, and default value I have given A. So here only 3 values will be there that we have taken as enumerated field. I will take A, B, C. Here I can take group A, group B, and group C. Now, notice one thing. Here the values that are shown in drop down are group A, group B, group C, but the value that will be sent to the database will be this value, not this value. This is basically the text for an option in select drop down, but the value that will be passed on the post or after submission will be these values, whatever given in the value field. It will not pass the group A, group B, group C, it will pass A, B and C. So let's close it, we don't require it. Here you can see, and now I will take the fourth column, that is contact number. So for contact number again, so here is our form that we are going to use to insert a value into database. Now we will be having a submit button. Input type is equal to submit, name equal to user submit, and value would be save user data. So this value will be the text that will be displayed over the button. So here you can see. So I'm taking 2 BR tags only to make it more readable. So here you can see we are having 4 fields: student name that user is allowed to enter, then student class that user will be selecting, then class group that again user will be selecting, and contact name number. Here you will be entering the contact number. Now see, for these fields I can have a default value. For example, I will take a default value for here only. So value would be blank, and I would be keeping it select. So here you can see here we are having select value. Now this, if we don't select a group either from A, B or C, so it will pass a blank value, and if we get the blank value for class group, it will take the default value that we have given A. So this field basically becomes optional now. We may or may not select any value for this particular class group because it is given, there is no not null check in the database, as well as I have given the default value for it. So if we don't pass any value, it will take the default value A for this particular field. So this is our form. Now here we need to check one thing. Let's comment it for now. So now if we submit this page, as we have taken action as input.php, so the control will go to index.php. Index.php we have taken the action, so the control will go to index.php now. So here we will check if not empty $_post, because we have taken our form submit method as post. So first of all, once we have submitted, we will examine that what values we are getting from the form. So I will be doing it like this. I will be doing print_r. Print_r, I have already explained you that this is to examine an array, that what is going to be, what is passed, or what are the values of an array. So here I will be doing $_post. So if I take it as Amit, class first, I don't select a group, and I give contact number, something like that. When I click on save user data, you can see I'm getting the post array with student name Amit, student class, then contact number, then user submit, value of the submit button. I think it is. I'm selecting and group set C. Here I'm selecting group B. Now see what would be the value of this thing. So see, the value for student class is B, not group B. Okay, this class group. Group, if I do the group C, here you can see the class group is C. It is not group C. Why? Because the value given is A, B, and C. So this will be treated simply as text. Value that will be passed will be this value. I think till now everybody is fine. Means this is clear to everybody. So that now I can move ahead with using these values to insert into the database. So people, should we move ahead if it is clear to everybody? Okay then, let's move ahead. Nusrat, now I'm getting your messages in question window. If you have something, you can just write down. Nusrat, do you have any question that you want to ask? Nusrat, let me know, otherwise I will move ahead. Okay, Nusrat. Yes, I'm getting. Yes, Varsif, I'm getting your reply. I think Nusrat is having any questions. So Nusrat, do you want to say something? So Nusrat, should I go ahead with the session? Okay, okay. Let's move ahead then. So this is how we will build the form and how the values will be passed in the post array to the form, to the action script that we have called. Now how to save these values to the database? We'll see that this thing now. So now, as we have gone through that, in order to insert a value, we first have to create a database connection. So here is my host name, database username, password. So here you can see we are having a link that in order to do any kind of query with MySQL, we have to build a link with database server. So even yesterday I have shown you that we can print this resource type. Means this will let us know whether the link to the database has been created or not. So here you can see the resource ID. So it simply means that link has been created. We are able to do our transactions with database now. So here I will select my database. Again, if you people remember, yesterday we have discussed the thing. Once we have connected to MySQL server, we have to select the database that we want to access. So here we are selecting the database. Our database is Edureka_demo. So I'm selecting this database here. Simply passing the database name and the link. So like these variables, it would be better if we take the database name here as well as a variable, and we'll pass this variable. It would be db name. So always try to keep your code modular. Means first of all it should be built into functions rather than writing the code. But here, as I'm just going to explain you the basic stuff, I'm taking it as sequential instructions, but you should use some modular programming. So here is db name and db link. Now this will select my Edureka_demo database, and now you can see the further steps. So here how you can, here is the connection created. If connection is created, we have selected the database. Then how we are using the SQL. So I'm getting from the post, I'm getting 4 values. So let's print it first so that values are clear to us. So here we will be able to see, because we have done the submission. Now we have to see the field name. So in order to do that, I'm simply printing it. So now in order to insert the value, I will write my insert SQL query like this. I will do insert into, I will write my table name, that is students same way I have done on the command prompt, I will be doing here. So I will give the fields, like I will copy the field's name, then values, I'll be giving the values like varif in quotes, then I'll be having, oh sorry, here we will be giving the post that we are getting. So here I would be having, so you people might be remembering this dot. This is concatenation operator, if you people remember. What I'm doing here, I'm just closing my quotes and I'm concatenating this $post and then value, the value that I have to append, that is student name, and then see, one more thing I have told you regarding this double quotes. If we are using double quotes, then you can skip this as well. You don't have to append anything or close your quotes. You can simply do like this. So here we are having the 4 values: student name, then student class, then class group, then contact number. So here is our insert SQL query. Now, before going to inserting that into database, we should always check what this insert query is going to print. So I'm simply inserting this query and using the die. Die will not move the control further. So die or exit are the same thing. I can write die or I can write exit. So what I'm doing here now, I have written my query. I just want to see, I want to print the query whether it is getting the correct values or not. So there is some issue with the query. The variable line number 17. What is the issue here? Okay, I think there's the issue with this. Okay, let's check it. Okay, the same thing we can do. Yes, otherwise we have to append this backslash every time. So in order to avoid this, because we will have to give these values. These are the strings, so we have to give these values into quotes, but we cannot write like this, because if we are giving single quote outside, then again inside 2 single quotes, for example, if we are writing like this, we have single quotes and inside the single quotes I'm giving 2 more single quotes, so it will not accept. It will give us an error like that, because it will think that quote is ended here, then again quote is starting, and then quote is ended here. So this will create an error situation in PHP. So to avoid it, what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this value into separate variables, like student name. Here I'm going to use the ternary operator because it might be possible that user have not provided any value for a field. So if I simply do it like that, if I simply do like that and I don't get this student name in post from the form, so if I do like that, it will give me an error. So in order to avoid that error, what I'm going to do, I'm using is set this. If it is set, then take the student name, otherwise take the blank value. So this way I'm going to do for all the fields. So we should make this a practice that before using any value, we should check whether this value is set or not. If it is set, we should use that value, otherwise we should use some default value that should be given if that value doesn't exist. So in that case, we are having student class, then we can have student class group. So here you can see, if nothing is passed from class group, if value is passed for class group, I'm taking that class group, otherwise I can take a default value A for it. Same way, this is my contact number. So what I will do, I will pass this value here in single quotes because these are strings. Then student class, then class group, then contact number. So here you can see the query printed. Insert into students, student name, student class, class group and number, values Amit, first, C and this. See, these are the posted values and these values now are the part of query. So as the query is fine now, I have seen that this query is fine. Now I can run this query. So how to run this query? What I will do, I will call MySQL query and I will pass this query to it. And this return value simply will return me true or false if the query is run successfully or not. So this way, if we call, we can insert the query. See what I'm going to do here. If not empty return value, then I'm going to print the record successfully. Otherwise, something unexpected occurred. Now I will close my connection after doing my stuff. So this is the code that is now going to insert a record into database. So let's start with the form again. Let's give some values here. Like I'm going to take here Chandra. Class name is Swift. Group I'm going to select is group B, and contact number is this. Now when I click on save user data, so it is saying me the record inserted successfully. Now if we check our table, you see for ID 8, Chandra, 5th, B, and this number. So the record gets inserted into database. So this was the form displayed in our this module. Like here you're connecting to your database, then here I'm writing down the insert query as I have written here. This is my insert query. Then I'm calling MySQL underscore query function and passing my query to it with the database link that I have created. So if return value comes true, it will give me the record inserted successfully. So this is the way how we can insert and use the insert query in our PHP to insert values into the database. This is very simple code. So here when the form gets submitted, you get values into post, and what you do your connection stuff and you take all the values from the form and you pass it to your insert query sequentially as you have given the field names. In the same sequence you will be passing the values, and you will be using MySQL query function, passing your SQL and the database link that you have created. So return value will return you true. This simply means that record has been inserted into database. Otherwise there is some error or something unexpected occurred. Okay, so it was all about insert. Our next slide, that is slide number 14th, is something about selecting records from the database. Till now what we have learned that we can insert into database. Now I will show you that how we will select those inserted values or the table or the rows that are in the database. First I will let you know the straightforward how we will be getting all the rows, and in the next step I will let you know how I will be getting a particular row or rows based on some particular condition. See, here are some of the points regarding select query. Select statement to fetch the data is used to fetch the data from the database. Fetching the data can be simple query or it can be complex query. Simple query simply means that we are going to use a simple select statement with one or two minor conditions, and complex simply means we can have joins of multiple tables. For example, we want to fetch data from database from multiple tables, so we can use join in that case. I will try to, if we get time, I will try to explain you the join, how we do join of two tables. Then there is again one more concept that is called subquery. Join and subquery both are used to get the data from the database if we have to fetch that data using multiple tables. But there is a bit syntax different and processing difference between subquery and join. Next is simple. Again, simple query is straightforward query and complex query is using multiple tables or complex conditions. So here is the syntax of a select query. Select field 1, field 2, field n. So here I will give the fields that I want to fetch. If I want to fetch all the fields, then I will simply give star rather than the field names. Then here I can give table name 1, table name 2. So why multiple tables are here? Because now we are getting data from multiple tables. This simply means it will be joining two tables and getting the records. Then we'll be having where clause. Where means we can give the condition. It is in bracket, which simply means that this thing is optional. We can get the data without any condition as well. Then this is offset that will be passing, and this is the limit. Limit is how it will let us know that how many records we want to fetch. If we give limit 10, then only 10 records will be fetched from the database, even if the condition is returning 100 records. So it will limit it to the 10 records. So here are some of the explanations that I have already given. We can use one or more tables to fetch the data. To fetch from one or more table, use comma between table names as given here. So it will be called joining of two tables. To fetch one or more fields, the field name should be separated with commas. If we want to select all the fields, then we will simply give star rather than the comma separated field names. To specify any condition, we will use the where clause. Then offset is from where the select statement should start. Means if we don't give any offset, it will start fetching from the first record. So for the first record, offset is 0. But we can give the offset, like I give the offset 5. So now it will start fetching the records from record number 4. So I can give the offset from which record I want to get the data. And the limit is the number of records that I want to fetch. So this was all about the syntax of a select statement. So here I'm going to let you know how I'm going to fetch records from the database. So once I have inserted, on basis of this, what I can do, if record is inserted, I can run another query that I can write select query or select SQL select. I will give only 4 field names. From students, this much only. So here I will run my MySQL query. You can take it as return insert value, because now I'm using it here as well. So I will do it select value. So here I will be checking if not empty return select value. What I'm going to do, I'm going to fetch that I think. So first of all, let's print this query, then we will see how to fetch the records. Here is our form. So like here I take the name Ajit, class first, group A, contact number is something. And if I save user data, the record inserted successfully, and here it prints our select query. So here is the select query that I have written. Select our fields from students. I haven't given any condition right now, no limit, nothing. So it will simply give me all the rows from the students table. Now this is the way. First of all, I will let you know how this will work on command prompt. Select, copy this query, and I will execute it. So here you can see I'm getting all the rows from the database for this table. That includes student name, student class, class group, and contact number from students table. So here you can see we're having 6 records. So this is a flat select query that is getting all the rows for that particular table from the database. So this is the same thing that is visible here. I'm doing select star from student. So rather than doing this separate field, comma separate thing, we can simply, if we want to fetch all the rows, all the columns, we can do simply select star. So it will give me all the columns. But if I want selected columns, I will do like this. It will give me selected columns now. For example, if I remove contact number, I will get only 3 fields. If I give contact number, I will be getting this as well. Now I can put some condition on it. For example, I want to fetch all the records where group class underscore group is equal to A. So it will return me only those rows that are having class group A. So this way I can give the condition. Now this was for the class group. I can have multiple conditions using AND or. If I want to get all the conditions satisfied, I will give AND. For example, I want class group, I want students that are having class group, and that those records should not have blank contact number or null contact number. So I will do AND contact number is not null. So here you can see I will get only 2 records, because if I don't give this condition, I will be having 3 rows, and for first row the contact number is null. So I don't want a record with null contact number. So I will give this condition now. And when I will run, I will see only 2 records. The record with null value, null contact number is gone. So this is the way that we write conditions. Now, if I want to limit the number of records that I want to fetch, if I make it limit 1, then I will get only 1 record, the topmost record. If I make it 2, I will get the 2 records. Now maximum we are getting, the number of records we are getting is 2, so it cannot exceed it. If we give 3, even that we will be getting the 2 records, because the condition is returning the 2 records. if I don't give this condition, so this will be giving me 3 records. If I make it limit 2, I will be getting top 2 records. So this is where the condition works. Now, this was the command line, how we can select values, how we can use conditions, how we can use limits. Now, in order to run this select query into PHP, how we will get the records, how we will get the data from the database, and how we can use it into our PHP code. So to select the data using PHP select, we can use MySQL query function. I have already shown you whatever query will write, either it's a select query or it's an insert query or it's a delete query or update query, we use MySQL underscore query function to run our SQL. Write the select query inside the MySQL query function. I have already shown you this function is used to execute MySQL queries. Now, if we use the select query, we have executed the select query, we will be getting a result in this select value, but how we will be fetching that particular result set. So here are 2 functions in PHP. One is MySQL fetch array and MySQL fetch SOC. So this array will simply fetch the array in numeric array. If you people remember, we have gone through arrays, so I will remind you people. For example, there is array A. I'm having 1, 2, 3. So this is a numeric array, number array, and if I'm having an array like this, for example, first 1, second is 2. So this is an associative array. So numeric array is having subscript 0, 1 and 2. Indexes means 1 will be at 0th index, 2 will be at first index, 3 will be at second index. But we can have index as string as well rather than numeric. So here is the index of first value, here is an index of second value. In this case, if I have to access 2, I will do $A 0. So it will return me 2. If I do here, if I have to access 2, I will do $B second. So it will give me the value 2. So this is the concept of numeric array and associative array, and we have discussed this already. So I'm just reminding you people so that you people might be able to find the difference between MySQL fetch array and MySQL fetch SOC. So array will return us, by default, array will return us the numeric array from the database, and so MySQL fetch array by default will return me numeric array of the rows from the database, and MySQL fetch SOC will return me the associative array from the database. So how to use MySQL fetch array and how to use MySQL fetch SOC. So here you can see what I'm doing. I'm selecting my database and I'm doing my SQL, that is to select values from student. The same kind of query I have written here. If the record gets inserted, I want to run my select query to fetch the records from the database. So this will run my query. Now how to get the records? So on this screen you can see I'm using while $row equal to MySQL fetch array. So MySQL fetch array is basically to fetch the records, is a function to fetch the records from the database that are returned by the select statement. So here I will do while. So I will be taking a new variable $o and I will be saving my result in this $o from MySQL fetch array. I will be passing this return value that I'm getting here, and that I will let you know. The next argument I will let you know later. First, only work with this value. So here what I'm going to do, I'll be going to print my row. So here you can see this is my select query. No need to print it now. Here I'm running my MySQL query. I'm passing my select query and the database link. So this is the resource. So this will be a resource type that I will be getting, because select query, what it is doing, it is fetching the results from the database and it is saving it as resource data type in this value. Now, in order to get array from this resource data type, I will be using MySQL fetch array and passing this resource type value. So if I print my row inside it, so first let's go through the database and see how many rows are there in the database itself. Okay, because we have done a lot of time, we have submitted the page, so we are getting this record inserted into database multiple times, no issues. So right now you can see I'm having this much of records. So if I print my row, because I'm using while query, so what while query will do, it will get a single row from the database and assign it to $row. Then it will again fetch the next row and then it will assign to $row. So this will loop will go on until there is record or there are records in my table. So when I do like this, what I will be getting, so I will be getting like this array. It will be the first record, it will be the second record, then third record. So this way, I will get arrays for each record in the table. So this is separate, everything I will get in separate arrays. So here you can see I'm having Nusrat first repeated. Why it is so? By default, for each row I'm getting both numeric key as well as associative key. So if I don't pass any second argument to this function, MySQL fetch array, I will be getting my records from database as this. But I simply want only associative values. So what I will do, MySQL assoc I will do, and when I will pass second argument as MySQL assoc, you can see numeric keys are gone. Now there are only associative keys. So it is always easy to access using associative keys, because it will let you know that these values are for which fields. Consider there is one more option, I can give it num. So doing like this, I will get only the numeric array. Now this doesn't make me clear that for which field this Nusrat value I'm getting, for which field I'm getting first. So it is always better to use MySQL_assoc. That will let me know exactly the student name, student class, class group, contact number. These are exactly the names of the fields in our database. Student_name, student_class, class_group, and contact number. When we use MySQL fetch array using MySQL_assoc as second argument, I'm getting field names with their values in form of arrays. So these are the arrays that I'm getting from database. Now I can play with this array. I can simply print it. For example, here let's print the values now. Print $row here. In my case it would be student name then I'll give a break. Then I will concatenate these values. Student name, then I will give student class, then I will give class group, then I will give contact number. So here I will be giving $row, student name, student class, class group, and contact number. So here I am appending page break so that value are clearer. I'm giving one more page break here to differentiate between various rows. So we can take it as single. So we can append bold tags so that it is more clearly visible. This thing I'm just doing as an example, means you can do it as per your project requirement or application requirement, as per the user interface that you are asked to work on. So here you can see I'm getting all the rows printed. Student name Nusrat, student class first, class group A, and there is no contact number. Same for Sumajit, then for Amit, then for Sumit, then for Chandra. So this way we are getting our records printed. So this is the usage of MySQL fetch array. First argument would be this resource type that you got after running your query using MySQL_query. You will be passing it in MySQL fetch array, and second argument you will be passing MySQL_assoc or MySQL_num. _num would be returning you the numeric array. Then you will be getting the values rather than giving like this. You will be getting values like this: row 0, row 1, if I give it as MySQL underscore num, then it would be 2 and it would be 3. So the same thing you will be getting, but now as MySQL num is passed as second argument, so it will be returning numeric array rather than associative array. I think usage of MySQL fetch array is clear to everybody. So if this is fine, I can move to next slide. So should we move ahead with the next slide? Okay, Varsif is fine with it. What about rest? Okay. Okay, everybody is fine. So let's move to the next slide. So here is some of the information that we have done. Because of the second argument, MySQL SO constant, the function MySQL fetch array, it returns the row as associative array. That already I have shown you that it will return if we use MySQL SO, then we will have to print the data like this only, like an associative array, or more clearly, we can print the row and we can see it. So it is giving me associative array. In an associative array, we can access the field by using the name instead of index. So here you can see, here are the field names from the database rather than indexes. If it is MySQL underscore num, then it will be indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. How many fields are there? The number of fields you are fetching. So if I limit my fields, if I remove the contact number, then you will be getting only 3 fields. So as many number of fields you are fetching from database, as many will be indexes. So if I fetch the contact number as well, you will get the contact number on the third index. Index number 3 basically. So this was some information about MySQL fetch. So till now we were using MySQL fetch array. Second argument we were passing MySQL underscore SO. So instead of doing this thing, we can simply do one more thing. Instead of using MySQL fetch SO array, we will be using MySQL fetch SO. So it will be doing the same thing as we were doing with MySQL fetch array and passing it is as MySQL fetch SO. So array, if I do it like this, SOC, and I remove this line. So line number 33 and line number 34, this means the same. Either I'm using MySQL fetch array and passing second argument as MySQL underscore SOC, or simply I'm using function MySQL underscore fetch SOC. So these are the same things. So if I comment it, so you can see I'm getting the associative array. Now I'm using MySQL fetch SOC. I'm not passing second argument. Rather than underscore array, I'm replacing it with my underscore SOC. It is giving me the associative array, same associative array that I was getting with MySQL fetch array and passing the second argument as MySQL underscore SO. So this was information about the MySQL SOC array. So here you can see the usage. Here I'm just writing down my query, select query. I'm doing my select DB, selecting my database, and I'm running the query. On the next page you can see I'm calling MySQL fetch SOC, and I'm passing my resource value, and I'm printing my records. So here you can see in MySQL fetch array, if I pass MySQL underscore num, then I will be getting the numeric array. Otherwise I will be getting associative array. If I pass MySQL underscore SO, if I don't pass anything, I will be getting both the arrays. So you can see this thing again. If I don't pass anything, then I will be getting both the arrays, numeric array as well as associative array. So here the description regarding MySQL underscore num that I have already shown you. The same thing, I'm passing MySQL underscore num. Now I'm accessing the fields with 0, 1, 2, 3 rather than the field names, field name strings. Now once I have fetched my records and everything is done, now there is a function in MySQL that is MySQL underscore free underscore result. I'm fetched the result in return value. I've printed my records. Now in order to save my memory, what I will do after everything is printed, I will do MySQL underscore free result, and I will pass this result set. Here I should pass it here itself. So what it will do, it will reset this return value resource, and it will free the memory that is occupied by this resource. And next step, I will close the connection. The same thing I've done here, I'm closing my connection. So this is the way to release a memory that has been occupied by a resource type that is getting results from our select query. I think this free result stuff is clear to everybody. So till now, if there is any query, any question, you can ask, or we can go ahead. I'm just waiting for your input, then we will move ahead if there is nothing. Okay, Vasif is fine with it. What about others? Somajit is also fine. What about Nusrat and Chandra? Yeah, Nusrat and Chandra, I'm waiting for your input. Yeah, Chandra, till now, is there any question? Yeah, definitely, Chandra. You need practice. If doubts are clear, means you can try to implement the same thing. You will be getting the video, you can see it again, or you will be having the slide and you can check it. This is not that much difficult thing. The only thing that requires is the practice. Yeah, Nusrat, are you there? If you can reply, then I can move ahead. Because till now, what we have discussed is the base for fetching the data from the database. So I want everybody to be clear on this concept. Okay, then I'm moving to next slide. Here you can see the usage of MySQL free result the same way I have done here. I'm freeing this resource variable once I have printed my records. What I have performed, whatever I want to perform with my values, I'm just freeing my result set in order to save the memory. So now, till now you have seen I'm using select queries, straightforward select query to fetch from the database without any condition. Now we'll be looking into condition, how we can use conditions to fetch the data based on our requirement. Here is where clause is an optional part. Obviously, whatever in this braces is optional. Where clause is an optional part, we can use this to specify any condition and or operators. If we want any of the condition to be satisfied, then we can put those condition in or. If we want all the condition to be satisfied, then we should have AND. So where is a condition clause that can be used either in delete or update or select. Anywhere we can use it. So here are list of some of the operators that we can use with where queries, where clause. We can check equality of a particular field with a value with equal to. This we can check non-equality with not equal to. This is exclamation equal to means not equal to. We can check any fields value to be greater than something. We can check some fields value to be less than something. Again, we can check some fields value to be greater than equal to something or less than equal to something. So these are the basic operators that we can use with where query. I will let you know the usage of this. So here you can see I have already shown you the condition. I'm giving where group class underscore group equal to A. I'm limiting it to 2. So I will be getting the 2 records. So here if I see the students table, I can see that here are a lot of students with same name Ajit. So apart from that, I'm having more other names, but now I want to put the condition to fetch only people having name Ajit. So I will be doing where student name is equal to Ajit. So I will be getting all the records where name is Ajit only. So here you can see. Again, in order to show the usage of greater than and less than, I'm adding one more column, that is roll number, and it would be integer. So here you can see one more field added. So I myself will be giving some roll number. It's better if we remove these records, duplicate names, so we'll keep only 2-3 values. So now, here I'm having some records. Like this. I'm having students with roll number that start from 1 and go up to 16. Now, I'm fetching where student name is equal to Ajit, so I will be getting the records with the name Ajit. Now, rather than doing this, I can do where roll number is greater than 10. So I will be getting all the records that are having roll number greater than 10. So it is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If I make it equal to greater than equal to, I will be getting equal to, that is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 up to 16. If I will be doing less than, I will be getting 1 to 9. If I make it less than equal to 10, I will be getting 1 to 10. So all the records where roll number is less than equal to 10. Either it is equal to 10 or it is less than 10. So this is the where condition. Now I want to see only records that are having student name as Ajit and roll number is less than equal to 10. So here you can see the usage of AND, that I'm having this much of records whose name is Ajit and roll number is less than equal to 10. So this is usage of AND. If I make it OR, so now see what happens. It will give me all the records where either name is Ajit or roll number is less than equal to 10. So here you can see if roll number is greater than 10, name is Ajit. So this condition is satisfied. Otherwise, I will get all the records where name is not Ajit but roll number is less than equal to 10. So this is the usage of and or. Less than equal to, less than equal to, greater than equal to. So every condition I have told you that how to use a particular condition. Now that was the using command line. Now I will let you know how this we can do the same way we were doing the select. We simply have to give the condition here, rest all the thing will remain same. I will simply put my condition and if I run it, for initially I will take and it will get the records, and for increasing the readability I will take it as associative array only. So here you can see I'm getting all the records. Let me fetch roll number as well. So I'm getting all the records where roll number is less than equal to 10. So here you can see roll number is 6, roll number is 7, roll number 8, roll number 9 and roll number 10. So now rather than fetching all the rows, I'm getting only those rows where name is Ajit and roll number is less than equal to 10. So the query will be running in the same way, only condition will be appended to our previous query. So again, if this function doesn't return anything, this will return false and it will not go into this condition. Here we can do else, we can print there is no record. If I put a condition where roll number is greater than 18 or greater than 16 and name is Ajit, now what happens in this case? Only we will getting the record inserted successfully. So here we will be checking because it is returning true or false. So here we will be checking if is equal to true. So see, if it returns false, means we don't have any record in the database that is having roll number greater than 16. See, in the students table, we have no record that is having roll number greater than 16. Even we are having only up to 16. So I will not be getting any record here. So there is no record. So this is the usage of where condition. And using this operator we can make our conditions. So here you can see they are selecting select star from student where name is equal to Nancy. So they will be getting only records where name is Nancy. So this was all about using selects without condition and with condition. Let's clean our table so that things are more clear. So I'm having 6 records. Now I have to update a particular row. So I will be making the whole code as comment. Using this code. So here you can see simply I'm fetching a record from the database where name is Ajit, class is first, group is A, and contact number is this, and roll number is 6. Now I want to update the class for this particular record. So what I will be doing, here I will be writing update query. I want to update from students update students set. So this set is a keyword that will let us make to set the value of some field, like I want to change student underscore class is equal to, I want it to be class second rather than first. With where condition, where student name is Ajit. Again, I'll be using MySQL query. I will be passing this to it. Print record updated successfully. Now see, here you can see the student class is now second rather than first. Now if I change it to, even in the database you can check it. Here see, Ajit is having class second rather than first. Now I want to make it seventh. I will do here seventh and I will run it. Now you can see class becomes seventh, and in the database table you can see it becomes seventh. So this is the way we can update a particular column, or we can update multiple columns with comma separation. I want to update class 7th and I want to update the group as well. Class underscore group equal to, I want to be C. Now if I run this query, I can see group also becomes C instead of A. Previously it was A, 7th and A. Now it will C. I can change both values again. I can make it 9th and group as B. And when I will refresh, I will run the query, you can see 9th and B. And in the database, you can check it, it becomes 9th and B. So this is the way we will write update query and we will execute it. And once we execute it, it will update record in the database, and based on that value, this true or false, we can simply print or we can perform the action that we want to perform if that value has been updated or not. This was the syntax of updating multiple values into a table with where clause. If I don't give where clause, then all the records of that particular table will be updated with those values. So update query, as it can change the whole table, so it is always better to double check your update query and your where clause before running your update query, because if you don't give where clause, it will update all the rows of the table with the field values, updated field values that you want to be. So always use your update query very carefully and make sure it will be updating only those fields that you want to update, for only those records, only those rows that you want to update. So here is bit syntax explanation. Using update query, we can update more than one field. Definitely we can do that simply by giving the comma separated field value pair. Then using where clause, we can specify any condition to update. Definitely we can pass any condition for the records that we want to update. We can only a single value in update query, single table. Yes, only a single table will be updated in the update query. We cannot give multiple tables here, like table name 1, comma table name 2. So we will be giving only single table name with multiple fields that can be updated with where conditions, and conditions again can be using greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to, or even and or. These can be the same kind of conditions we can make in selects, the same conditions we can make for update. So here I have shown you how to update the table. The same query you can write here, it will do the same thing, and doing an update. If you write this query over there, it will be doing the same thing. If you do it using PHP, it will be doing the step I have shown you. So this is, again, this is showing us that we are using some condition of contact number, where contact number, set contact number is equal to this, where roll number is equal to 3. So roll number 3, for roll number 3, I want to be this contact number. So I'm using update query. I'm running this query using MySQL query, and if everything is done fine, I'm just echoing update data successfully. So the same thing I have explained here that I can do. How to update. Next is delete query. Till now you have seen how to insert a new row, how to update an existing row, and how to fetch the rows from the database, either the flat, all the rows, or some conditional rows. Now we will be looking into delete. If we want to delete a particular row from a table. So here again, we can have where condition, but if we don't give where condition, it will delete all the rows from the table. Here again, where condition is optional because it is in brackets, but we should be very careful while deleting rows from the table, because if we don't give the where condition, it will delete the whole table. Only the table structure will be there, there will be no row in the table if we don't use any condition. So use delete very carefully. So here is the syntax explanation. Where clause is used to denote a specific set of conditions. We can give some conditions on which we want to delete. Depending upon the conditions, the value will be get deleted. Only those values will be deleted, those rows will be deleted for which the condition is satisfied. If we do not specify where clause, then all the records will be deleted. I have already explained you this thing. So be very careful while using delete query. So here is the command prompt to delete a particular row. Let's delete 2 rows using the command prompt and PHP MySQL as well. I will use delete from students where name is equal to Amit. So when I will see the student table now, you can see I think it should have been deleted. Okay, where student underscore name is equal to Amit. Now here you can see one row affected. Simply means the Amit row has been deleted. We have five rows here: Ajit, Chandra, Sumit, Somajit, and Nusrat. But there is no Amit now because the record with name Amit is deleted now. Now same thing we can do here as well. Now I will be printing all the records so that it is visible. Now instead of updating, I will be using the delete query here. Let's make it comment and take delete query. So here I will write my delete query. Delete from students where student underscore name is equal to what I will do. Now I'm having 5 records. I want to delete Sumit. That record that is having name Sumit. Now if I run this query, now you can see I'm having 4 records only. There is no record with name Sumit now. If I refresh the table, you can see the record with the name Sumit is deleted. So this way we can delete the record. So here is a bit explanation. To delete a particular record, we use where clause and specify the condition. To delete all the records, just specify the delete command with table name and don't give any condition. If I remove this condition, then all the rows will be deleted. So use it very carefully while using the delete.